Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live as we close out the week. This is Friday, April the 25th, 2025. If you're still writing checks, I guess you need to know the right date. You even have a checking account where you write checks?
The only time I write checks is to pay my rent.
A lot of people use a lot of different methods of payment now, so the checkbook, I guess, is becoming a thing of the past.
Yes.
I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon. Dan Ramey is on assignment down in Pike County today, and I imagine he'll probably have something on that for Monday's program.
Probably.
We'll have to wait and see. Kind of a mixed bag in weather today through the weekend. Showers are likely today, Friday, mostly from the mid-afternoon throughout the rest of the night and into Saturday. A good bit of Saturday looks like showers and possible thunderstorms, but it looks like the sun will come back on Sunday and Monday, but then rain Tuesday through Friday of next week. So if you didn't get your yards mowed yesterday, you might have a chance Sunday and Monday, and then the monsoons roll in again.
Yeah.
A lot to tell you about in the daily topics. Number of activities that are taking place here locally. If you're into NFL action, there was action last night on the stage for the NFL draft.
I didn't watch it.
I'm assuming you'll give us a Washington Commanders report.
They got an offensive tackle. That's all I know.
That's all you know. It was great news for the Ohio State football team as far as how many draft picks that they have out. And we'll let you know the top guys that are going to the Bengals and Browns. All that coming up here on Litter Media Live. Scioto Valley dumpsters, so the big orange dumpsters that you see throughout the area, people using these for cleanup projects. And the good thing is they bring the dumpster, you fill it up, and they'll take it away. Give them a call at 253-8389 for a free estimate. Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Going on right now, Hometown Motors Spring Sales Event while supplies last. I don't know where. There I am. There I am.
Oh.
New riding tractors starting at $1699.99. Zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99. New walk-behinds starting at $399.99. You're not doing your
Well, I didn't want
motions.
to wear the bid out.
Okay. Chainsaws starting at $279.99. Blowers starting at $199.99. Trimmers $229.99. So hurry in to get the best selection because with prices like this, they won't last long. Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the outdoors.
Getting a little bit of an earlier start on the program today. My wife and I have to head to Oak Hill for a funeral this afternoon. So our thoughts with the family. Mr. Spees, for those of you who had him as a teacher under the Adena School District.
I had him as a teacher.
Yeah. So he passed away recently, and his calling hours and funeral are down in Oak Hill, Ohio, early this afternoon. So that's why the earlier start. And again, our thoughts and prayers out to the Spees family today. At the top of the news today, members of the Ross County National Day of Prayer Committee, Jeanette Van Buskirk and Reverend Sean Howard, were in studio to discuss the observance of the National Day of Prayer next Thursday in downtown Chillicothe in front of the Ross County Courthouse. Reverend Howard shared the importance of believers praying privately, but also in the public forum.
Jesus said, when you pray, go to your closet, close the door behind you. And then he very specifically says, your Father who is in secret will reward you openly. And I've read that a lot, I'm sure, like we all have. But the tense of that is that he's already there. It says, your Father who is in secret, he beat you there. So the invitation to prayer is always from God. Meet me here so that I can do what you can't do out there. And National Day of Prayer just emphasizes that because God has invited us to do this, what a joy to be able to have a day on the calendar to say, let's do this together.
Right.
Because our community, our state, our nation, our world needs the Father to do in public what we cannot do.
And I know there are some who say, don't be as the publicans are, and how, they're boisterous and so on and so forth. But the thing is, people who don't know how to pray need to learn how to pray. And where are you going to learn unless you see it demonstrated?
Yeah, amen.
And we always hope and have in the past, it's always been a day of humility. It's a day of humble prayer. It's not a day of, look at me, beat my chest.
Right.
I'm here at National Day of Prayer because I'm so important, or I can pray better than you can. It is a day of being on our face before God and saying, we need you.
Activities begin next Wednesday evening at 6:30 in the parking lot of Chillicothe High School with a student-led prayer. Then Thursday morning at 6:30 a.m. in Grandview Cemetery on Carlisle Hill, and later at noon next Thursday in front of the Ross County Courthouse in downtown Chillicothe. Observances next week on May 2nd for the National Day of Prayer are also taking place in our area in both Circleville and Waverly.
Downtown Chillicothe will be flooded with yellow a week from today on May 2nd with random acts of kindness on Yellow Day. Have you ever participated in this event?
I've been through the downtown when the kids are all over the place. Dan, I think, has gone down and gotten some video on a number of occasions. It's really quite a sight to see. They leave traces of yellow all over town even after they've been there. So just to remind everybody, be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind day. Uptown Circleville is preparing for a full season of community events designed to celebrate local culture, support small business, and bring people together in the heart of the downtown. With support from the Pickaway County Visitors Bureau, the City of Circleville, and local sponsors, this year's schedule includes long-standing favorites and new highlights, and it all gets underway with the popular First Friday series, Friday, May the 2nd, and continues monthly through October.
The next OMJ Van On-the-Road event will be Friday, May 16th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Pike County Click It or Ticket event at Waverly's Rediger Field at 409 East 2nd Street. And this is sponsored by the Pike County Health Department.
And one more reminder that the King's Herald will be performing tomorrow, that's Saturday night, at Majestic Theater. Admission is free, but they're requesting non-perishable food donations. The food will be going to the Chillicothe Adventist Church Food Pantry, not the Good Samaritan. Circleville Men's Chorus will perform to open up that show. And, Aaron, what's the time of that start? I couldn't see because of the camera.
Looks like 7 p.m.
7 p.m. tomorrow at Majestic Theater. Our road report, we go right back up to Pickaway County. State Route 762 between US 23 and Asheville Pike will have various lane restrictions through this fall for pavement repairs. Two-way traffic is being maintained. And the construction is finally underway on Bridge Street in Chillicothe, especially during morning and afternoon rush hours. At times it resembles a parking lot.
Yeah.
We were there before the volleyball match that we broadcast last night. We went out to Sam's, and traffic was backed up from the bowling alley all the way to the Bridge Street Bridge.
Wow.
We went out on, went north of town, hit the 207 connector just so we could backtrack on 104 to get to Chillicothe High School, and that took 40 minutes.
Wow.
So, folks, we're in it for the next 2 years, so just be prepared and keep your yellow kindness flags
Keep
ready.
it year round,
Yeah.
not just next Friday.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of patience over the next couple of years. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports, all ahead on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor for more than 4 decades, going on almost 5 now. And again, we want to emphasize they not only do residential heating, cooling, and plumbing, but also commercial. A lot of the big projects, building projects that are taking place here in not only Ross County, but Pickaway County, to our north, south, east, and west. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is there. Give them a call for more information.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Turning over to sports, Chillicothe used serving runs in the late set 1 and 3 for a 25-23, 25-17, 25-21 boys volleyball win over Whetstone at Hatton Memorial Gymnasium last night. The 2 turning point runs were part of 10 serving aces that the Cavs had in that match, as Chillicothe runs their record now to 12-1. Here's other high school sports from last night. We didn't get the screenshot, but it's on our score page now. Ross Christian volleyball also was a winner last night in straight sets. In baseball, Buckeye for the MSL, Circleville got by Fairfield Union 4-2. In the Shack, it was Eastern Brown over Fairfield. TVC winners were Vinton County, Meigs, Miller, and Southern. Non-conference baseball winners, Valley, very good this year. They beat Zane Trace. I think it's the Pioneers' second or third loss this season. Piketon ran up the score in baseball over Western. Minford was a winner, so was Portsmouth West. Hilliard, Bradley over Chillicothe. Miami Trace. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin beat Athens. Athens, that's only their second loss of the year. Portsmouth West was a winner, and so was Bern Union. Turning over to softball, Circleville, Logan Elm, Taze Valley, Northwest, Sims Valley, Clay, Wellston, Trimble, Nelsonville, York, all winners. In non-conference play, it was Chillicothe over Waverly. Southeastern, Eastern beat Unioto. Zane Trace over Valley. Huntington, Wilmington beat Washington. McLean over North Adams. Hillsboro a winner, so was Fairfield, Miami Trace. And Licking Valley beat Bloom Carroll. That was Bloom Carroll softball's first loss of the season.
So Licking Valley must be pretty good.
They are pretty tough. In boys tennis, Chillicothe's pretty tough. They're on a run right now as they shut out Unioto 5-0. By the way, just got a note late before the show started. Chillicothe tennis's match at Circleville for tonight has been postponed because of the threat of rain.
All righty. Coach Brian Hartline of the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes was at Chillicothe High School on a recruiting visit, pictured with the Cavs coach T.J. Carper here. So That's exciting for the Cavs.
Somebody on Facebook asked who they were recruiting. I have no idea, but I do know it's the second time he's been there this year.
Yeah. Speaking of OSU, 4 OSU players were drafted in the first round of the NFL draft last night. Emeka Egbuka was picked by Tampa Bay, Donovan Jackson going to the Vikings, Tyleik Williams to the Lions, and Josh Simmons to the Chiefs. The Browns selected Michigan's Mason Graham, and the Bengals nabbed Shamar Stewart of Texas A&M.
And who's your team, the Commanders?
It was an offensive tackle from Oregon. I don't remember his name.
So we've probably seen him since Oregon played Ohio State twice this year.
I saw some Bengals fans that were upset they didn't pick Mike Green instead.
Gotcha.
But it seems like Mike Green might have some off-the-field issues that they were avoiding.
Yeah. And the Bengals years ago learned that lesson when they were the convicts of the NFL, I think. Cross country expands to 4 divisions next fall. The OHSAA has just announced the new divisional breakdowns along with a new 3-year contract with Fortress Obetz and Memorial Park to host 3 OHSAA cross country events next fall, namely the state tournament. If you want to find out where your school lands in those divisions for next fall for cross country, go to our website story at littermedia.com to get more details.
The Reds open their series tonight at Colorado. Guardians host Boston in a series opener tonight. And you want to tell us about the Cavaliers?
They are up 2-0 in their series. Game 3 is in Miami tomorrow, Saturday.
Is that a best-of-7 series?
You know, I don't know for the first round whether it's best of 5 or best of 7. All I know is here we are in late April, and this will go until June.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. So now is time for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week presented by Homeland Credit Union. And we saw this guy in action last night. In fact, I've been watching him for the last 4 years. Chillicothe boys volleyball player Mercer Cutright. He has been the Cavs' leading offensive player this spring with more than 120 kills in his first 13 matches and leading the Cavs to a 12-1 start, including their win last night.
I mean, he's floating in that picture right there.
Yeah, he's 6'4", and he can sky. And when he hits the volleyball, it a lot of times goes straight down. But congratulations to Mercer Cutright as our player of the week. When we come back, we're going to go back to 1945 and something that President Harry Truman learned on this date that might have made him go, what? All that's coming up next on Litter Media Live.
First, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane, custom tank colors, and wraps. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful at litterpropane.com.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary.
Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com.
A bit of history as we always wrap up our daily program, just to broaden your minds, your horizons. And hopefully it'll get you curious enough about history to look some of this up yourself and learn more. On this date in 1945, President Harry Truman learns the full details of the Manhattan Project, in which scientists are attempting to create the first atomic bomb. The information thrust upon Truman a momentous decision whether or not to use the world's first weapon of mass destruction. America's secret development of the atomic bomb began in 1939 with then-President Franklin Roosevelt's support. The project was so secret that FDR did not even inform his vice presidents, for which Truman was his VP in his final term. This picture, by the way, that's not a giant lemon in the back. That is a picture of a atomic bomb detonation. That would not have been at either Hiroshima or Nagasaki because they had no ground-level photos. This was probably a test somewhere. You asked the question before we went back on, how many atomic bomb or nuclear devices have been exploded in, other than test? There's only been two. Fortunately, only two, and those were Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I was telling Aaron a story of Paul Harvey, the rest of the story that he told years ago, that the total devastation and death as well as injuries that resulted in the atomic bomb blast, but there were survivors. One fella at Hiroshima survived. He moved immediately to another Japanese city within a day or two, which just happened to be Nagasaki. And he survived that also.
Wow.
Only known person to survive two nuclear blasts. Also, those two cities had not been bombed at all, even with conventional weapons, because those were two, I think, of 6 or 7 cities that were on the list to be bombed, and it would depend on the weather that day. And the reason for that they had not bombed those cities, they wanted to see what devastation would be caused by just the atomic bombs without any conventional devices being dropped on them throughout the war. So fortunately, those were the only two. Again, an earlier start today because I have to get home and take off again for a funeral this afternoon. So that's why the early start. If you weren't expecting us to be on this early, you can always go back and watch it later, right?
Right.
Okay. Anything going on for you this weekend?
I'm going back to Circleville today to talk to one of the experts at the Asheville Viking Festival. So expect an informational video about that today. That festival runs this weekend. I'll be there tomorrow morning to take some pictures.
So are you going to Circleville or Asheville?
Circleville. And then tomorrow I'm going to the actual festival.
Gotcha. And you were up there earlier this week, right?
I was up there yesterday.
Okay. And the next release of our markings of history, that's Monday afternoon. Sometime.
Monday at 4. That's when those come out.
Gotcha. All right. Again, Dan Ramey on assignment today. He'll probably have something on that when you guys discuss that on Monday. I'll be back with you, good Lord willing, next Tuesday. Until that time, have a great weekend. Stay dry, everybody. From all of us here at Litter Media, for Aaron Glandon and Dan Ramey, I'm Mike Smith. Have a great weekend from all of us at